Hello everyone. Today I'm starting a series called What If Ash Ketchum Woke Up on Time to Get It Started. Part 1, Kanto. Okay, so first the squirrel he chooses the starter he chooses is squirrel. This is the this is Ash's first pick in the original series. Okay, with an obedient starter he has caught a Pidgey and a Rattata successfully. Then we enter a Viridian Forest where he catches a Weedle. So, since there's no Misty, Misty doesn't get scared of Caterpie and Ash doesn't notice Caterpie. And give me, and he gets Weedle because in the original series, is the samurai, mm, the samurai saw Misty and Misty tell him where Ash is, and Ash at the time was trying to catch a Weedle. Okay, so during the battle with the samurai, Beetle evolves twice to Beetle, cause why not? Alright, so since he has a water type with him, Ash just easily win this badge. And now we go on to the Cascade badge where most people think Ash gets without doing anything. It's like, what is wrong with you guys? Come on. The reason why he the sisters have no more Pokemon left at that time because the other trainers of Pallet beat him there, but since he woke up early, they didn't beat him there, so he has to battle them. Okay, so Ash sends out Squirtle, who defeats Goldeen but loses to Seal, where and so Ash sends out Pidgey. Pidgey evolves to Pidgeotto and wins the badge. Yay! Okay, so during a battle against a Rattata, Ash's Rattata evolves into Raticate. Okay, so here so so one time Ash got lost. Ash got lost, since there's but when they were last, Ash and Misty argue whose fault is it, and Ash mentions Misty wanting to go with a shortcut, and no Misty, no shortcut, no getting lost. So no Bulbasaur, no Charmander, and no encounter with Squirrel Squad. Ash still catches Krabby since they were not lost there. Time for his battle with Lieutenant Surge, and as you can expect, with Squirtle, Ash loses. Yes. So in the original series, he's Ash uses Pikachu's speed, but here he uses Squirtle's defense and teaches it with draw. Oh, this led to it evolving to War Turtle and defeating Raichu. Yay. Okay, so first I wanna mention that there's no Saint Anne since there's no Team Rocket following to get Pikachu. No Saint Anne arc. Also, the battle with Sabrina ends the same way. Okay, so in the original series, James kicks Mankey, which makes it evolve to Primate, but here there's no Team Rocket, so Ash catches it as a Mankey. Alright, so now for the gym battle, and Ash goes with Beedrill, which defeats, and since it's a bug type, it defeats both Tangela and Bellsprout, but loses to Gloom. Primate. Mankey also loses to Gloom, but it weakened it enough for War Turtle to beat him. Okay, so during the boxing match, Team Rocket wins and beats Hitmonchan by cheating, but no Team Rocket, so Hitmonchan is the one Mankey faces. Also, Mankey about to Primate. But it wasn't enough. Hitmonchan wins and Mankey gets to stay with Ash since the man doesn't scam Ash into giving him his Primate since he wasn't the winner. Okay, so during the episode Spark Spike for Magnemite, Pikachu who gets a cold, which is the reason why they go to the Pokemon Center, then go to the factory because there's no electricity, blah blah blah. Then Ash got Schmuck, but that doesn't happen since Ash doesn't have Pikachu, so Ash doesn't get a Muck. So during the battle with In Fuchsia City, Ash's Eradicate defeats is this Venonat belonging to the sister of Koga. But Koga doesn't accept the victor. Thus says that Ash can get badge until he beat Koga. Ash beats him, so they battle. Beedrill Beedrill defeats Venonat, but then loses to Golbat, where Ash sends in Pidgeotto, and they have an air battle, but Golbat is winning. Pidgeotto evolves to Pidgeot and wins the badge. Okay, so in this timeline, Ash still catches Taurus, but he only catches three since in the original Team Rocket proposed a catching competition, but no Team Rocket, so only three Taurus. Also, no Team Rocket to blow up the place where they were digging. So no Togepi. Now for the battle with Blaine, Ash chooses War Turtle and defeat Ninetales, but then loses to Rhydon, on which Primate beats but loses to Magmar, and and Krabby is also having a hard time defeat Magmar, so he evolves to Kingler and defeat Magmar. Up, up next is the battle with Giovanni, where Ash's Kingler defeats both Golem and Giovanni's Kingler, but loses to Mewtwo, dun, who also defeats Pidgeot and is easily taking care of War Turtle. But War Turtle evolves to Blastoise, and Blastoise shoots one Hydro Pump out, which Mewtwo psychics to a different direction and shoots the other one out, which hits Mewtwo, which makes the suit malfunction and it flees the gym. And Giovanni hands Ash the badge. Up, up next, Ash has a battle with Gary and since there's no Team Rocket to interrupt. Up, it goes like this: Ash's Kingler defeats Krabby. Ash's Pidgeot defeats Gary's Spearow. Oh. Arcanine defeats Kingler, but then loses to Ash's Blastoise. Nidoking defeats Raticate with ease, but loses to Primeape. Alakazam then defeats Primeape and then ties with Beedrill. Now it's time for the final battle between Blastoise and Venusaur. And it was close, but the winner was Venusaur. Or, or Gary is a bit frustrated that he almost lost, so he decides to train a bit harder. Now it's time for the Indigo League. First up is Mandy, and Kinger defeats Executor, or Seadra, and Golbat. And now for his battle with Pete, Kingler defeats Cloyster, loses to Arcanine, Blastoise beats Arcanine. Also, since Gary trained harder, his Nidoking defeats the Golem of Melissa. I think that's the name. Whatever. For a battle with Janeet, Ash's Beedrill defeats his Beedrill, but Scyther defeats it. Pidgeot defeats Scyther and defeats Bellshot because of air superiority. Now for his battle with Richie. Pidgeot defeats Butterfree, and Pikachu defeats, or Sparky defeats Pidgeot. Blastoise defeats Pikachu by using the same strategy as with Lieutenant Surge, and Charmander is having a hard time defeating Blastoise, but it evolves to Charmeleon, and still wasn't enough. Now time for his battle with this trainer. I forgot the name, but we don't know all of his Pokemon, so most of this is hypothetical. Okay, so Beedrill defeats Venomoth. Tentacool or Spearow defeat Beedrill. Then they were defeated by Pidgeot, and then I don't. Uh, then a Pokemon defeats Pidgeot, then Blastoise defeat that Pokemon and recalls it. So now we have a battle between Kingler and Rhydon. Kingler defeats Rhydon but is defeated by Ivysaur, and then Raikage is defeated by some unknown Pokemon, and then that Pokemon ties with Primeape. Now it's time for the battle between Ivysaur and Blastoise, in which Blastoise wins. Hence, Professor Oak calls Ash and asks if he wants to use one of his Tauros. Ash says no, he's fine, and he's gonna win, and he's gonna beat Gary. But later on, Gary asks Oak if Ash is planning to use one of his Tauros, and Oak says no, so Gary is able to come up with a strategy to beat him. And here it is. Kingler versus Kingler. Ash loses Blastoise versus Venusaur, or Blastoise is heavily damaged and so recalls it and goes with Pidgeot, but Gary quickly switches to Golem, who defeats him, and Ash uses Primate and defeats eats Golem. Nidoking defeats Primeape. Ash goes with Beedrill, and Gary quickly switches again to Magmar. Magmar defeats Beedrill, and Blastoise defeat Magmar, and then we have a battle between Nidoking and Raticate. Raticate loses, so now Ash has one Pokemon left, and Gary still has four. Blastoise defeats Nidoqueen, Nidoking, Krabby, but he's already too weakened and loses to Blastoise. To Venusaur. Now, in the original series, there were a top three, so I'm guessing there's a battle for third, and Ash wins it and becomes third place, and Gary becomes the champion and wins the Indigo League. Now we venture through his journey to the Elite Four, starting with Lorelei. Arcanine immediately defeats Jinx. Cloyster defeats Kingler defeats Cloyster, Dugong defeats Kingler, Arcanine defeats Dugong, Venusaur defeats Slowbro, and Alakazam defeats Lapras. Firo then defeats Bruno's Hitmonlee, and Machamp, but loses to Onix. Venusaur defeats it. So now Ash's Gary's Alakazam defeats Golbat, Arbok, but loses to Gengar, which Nidoking defeats. Then Lance sends out his Dragonite and says he'll only be using it. Dragonite defeats Nidoking, Arcanine. And then, time for the final battle with Dragonite and Venusaur, which ends in a Solar Beam Hyper Beam collision, and the winner is dun 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 Venusaur, which makes Gary the champion of Kanto. Okay, a few more things. These episodes right here do not happen, either because Misty is absent, Team Rocket is absent, and Pikachu is absent, or Brock is absent. Also, if you're wondering why Brock is absent, it's because in the original timeline, Flint helped Ash beat Brock, but Flint doesn't do that here and doesn't volunteer to take care of the kids, so Brock stays. Also, in the movie, Mewtwo calls Ash his savior, and Ash tries to convince him to stop what he's doing and tries to stop the fighting, and turns to stone. So yeah, that's basically it. Please like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and click on the notification bell to get notified for future videos. I'll be continuing this series, but it will take a few months for the next episode, for the next part to come out. So I will be doing some Pokemon Journeys reviews. Okay, thanks. Okay, That's it. See you.